Hey there, Pride fans, and welcome to another edition of the WB Mason Coach Report right here at GoHofstra.com. I'm Dan Savarino, Joe Mihalich, the head men's basketball coach of the Hofstra Pride. And one game this past week, a very good game for you guys, I guess you can say, against Coppin State. Down in Baltimore, you win by, put the 100 on the board right there. First time this season, first time actually in regulation in some time in the program. Overall, Coach, what did you like about the victory?
Well, you know, one of our battle cries with our players is that you play the same way every day. Whether it's practice, whether you're at Coppin State, whether you're playing, you know, Kentucky at home, that you play the same way. And I was proud of our guys for doing that. We didn't, you know, we played a bunch of guys that, you know, they didn't have it that night. You know, let's kind of leave it at that. Coppin State just didn't have it that night. And yet our guys played the right way. They played hard, they played together, they played unselfish. And, you know, of course we made some shots. So, you know, we had that was a good night for us.
I know we always talk about Juan Green. He flirted with actually a triple-double in that game. Would have been the first one in some time in Pride history actually to do so. What was it about him in that game that was just being able to do it all, really?
You know, I'll share this with you. I did say to them, I said, you know, you could get a triple-double tonight because they take 35 threes a game, and we knew there were long shots, long rebounds. And I said to Juan, there'll be a lot of long rebounds, so you could get a lot of rebounds. And then he always almost gets 10 assists. In fact, I think he had 7, and Jamal Robinsons missed a layup, and Elio Gonzalez passed up a layup that would have been at least given him 9. So, but you know, he's like that. He's a stat sheet stuffer. He fills it up.
Well, three-ball obviously still working between Amin Hengsley, Brian Bernardi, two guys in the top 15 actually in the entire nation in three-point field goal percentage. I know you keep talking about the three-ball. It's not that shot that you feel like it's always an easy shot. You should always end up taking that. But what do you think is still clicking for them right now, at least mentally? They know every time it can go in.
Well, you know, they're confident, that's for sure, and they should be. They work very hard at it, particularly Brian Bernard. He has no equal when it comes to working on his shot. He's probably doing that right now. But you know, I say this all the time too. We really share the basketball. I mean, we get everybody. We space the floor pretty well, and you know, Juan Green passes the ball pretty well. Everybody passes the ball. So, you know, I think that it's the efficiency that I'm most pleased with, not just the fact that they're making a lot of threes. They're not taking a lot. They're just making the ones they get.
Well, Malik Nichols, another strong outing, ends up grabbing a career-high 15 rebounds in the contest. Back-to-back doubles now for Malik. For him, obviously, I know you guys always had a big plan for him going forward from the beginning of the season, and something that even Coach Nichols said he wasn't sure if Malik even knew the plans you guys had for him. Is he starting to come into his own that you feel he's ready to take on this big role?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's, first of all, starting to understand his role. I've probably said it on this show before, and it sounds a little bit corny, but, you know, we always say this: know your role, accept your role, perfect your role, whether you're the last guy on the team or the best guy on the team. And, you know, I think he's starting to understand it. He's starting to get confident and get comfortable. And, you know, those three things combined have made him productive.
Well, 7-2 right now, heading into the finals break. I know we're just about a third of the way into the season, 9 games in, 7-2. One loss was a game that you were ahead. I know you don't like talking about it much against USF. That was a game that you were ahead, and then obviously NC State. Is this team at this point now where you feel you should be?
Yeah, I think so. This is going to be really telling these next couple of games here. You know, we got at Columbia and we got LaSalle here, and they're gonna really show us a lot about ourselves, and we're excited to play those games. But with all due respect to the teams we've played so far, we feel like Columbia is the second best team we've played so far after NC State. They're a very, very good team. They're confident. They won 14 games at home last year. We're playing them at their place. So it's why we played the game. It's why we scheduled the game, because not only are they a very good team, they're a local team, and they play a lot like William & Mary, who's one of the better teams in our conference. So those three reasons combined are why we played that game. So we're looking forward to doing that.
I know you've been talking about this since the preseason. We would ask you about a game that you want to focus in on the non-conference. You never said NC State. You never said well, you always said the first game too, but you always focused in on Columbia. I know you just mentioned it right there about what they bring to the table, but why is this such an important game for you guys at this point in the season?
Well, for all the reasons I just mentioned. They play like William & Mary. They're a very good team. And, you know, it's going to be an away game. It's a local game. You know, the other thing that enters into this is that, you know, again, I say this respectfully, the average fan doesn't realize how good they are. You know, all of our alums, and I mean, you know, we love all of our alums, but they're probably thinking, oh, it's Columbia, oh, it's the Ivy League, oh, they're not any good. They're very good. And so we have to deal with that dangerous aspect too.
Well, Mato Lowe is actually their leading scorer right now. He can pretty much do it all. And they just played Kentucky last week, only lost by 10, and they were up for 27 minutes in the contest. How do you think they're going to be able to handle that going in? Because going from them to Kentucky to you guys, and then UConn right after. So you're sandwiched right in the middle there, so obviously you know they're going to come out firing. How do you come out firing yourselves?
Well, I mean, I think you're asked how they're going to handle it. They're going to be excited for this game because they're thinking, well, I don't know if we can beat Kentucky, I don't know if we can beat UConn, but we sure can beat Hofstra at home. So that's where their heads are at right now. So, all these things, I believe in, I don't believe in the elephant in the room. I believe in talking about the elephant in the room and talking to our guys about how good they are and where their heads might be and what their players are thinking and, all those other things.
Well, when you look just back at this past week, finals week obviously for everybody, they had some time off. Do you think it was good for them to adjust and be able to have some time preparing for this game?
Well, we'll see, because, and a lot of it comes down to salesmanship, but I remember being on the bus coming back from Coppin State thinking like, oh man, we're playing really good right now, now we're not going to play a game for 10 days. So you can't, get too fixated on that. I think you got to think, no, wait a minute, it's good to have a break. The guys need to get their exams taken care of. We had a stretch where we played 3 games in 5 days and 4 games in 8 days, a lot of road games. It's good for our guys to have a break. So we gave them some time off. We were off Thursday. We played Wednesday night, we're off Thursday. Had a short but intense 1-hour workout Friday. Had a good practice Saturday, we gave them off Sunday. Practice Monday, very good practice. Off yesterday, Tuesday, and now we'll go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get ready for Saturday.
Well, obviously, LaSalle is next week as well, your alma mater. We'll talk about that one next week on the show.
Next week.
First, focusing on Columbia, what are your keys to this weekend? How do you come away with another victory?
Well, we've talked a lot about the keys. What to be prepared for, what type of team they are. They're the second or third most deliberate team in the country, so they play at a very deliberate pace. Now, what we have to be careful with is that doesn't mean they move around slowly. They're very quick with what they do. It just means they throw a lot of passes. They're very, very patient. There's a lot of long possessions. We can't get frustrated by them. We got to get better with each tick of the clock, with each defensive possession, get better as the clock ticks away. And then they're a very good defensive team. People don't realize that. They're giving up 51 points a game. A lot of it's because of pace, and not as many possessions. But they're a very, very stingy defensive team. We got to be tough offensively.
All right, he's Joe Mihalich. I'm Dan Sauer. We're going to catch all the action upcoming Saturday, 7 o'clock at Columbia, 11:90 a.m. WLIB will be the network this upcoming weekend. We'll catch you next week, Pride fans.